this again? I thought we already got past this shit.
No,
we have, but there's new inside information. So apparently DC Comics really wanted Black Batman to permanently replace Bruce Wayne. So this is an exclusive to Bounding Into Comics, because there's an insider that spoke with them about all of this, and I thought we'd just run it down because it is funny, and you know how true this is. Who knows? I don't know much about this specifically, but we're going to talk about it as if there's an air of legitimacy behind it, because some of the moves that are stated in this are very clear to see, and I would believe that there's some legitimacy behind it, some credence to them. So in early 2021, Disney Comics replaced their iconic characters with diversity counterparts in their Future State line, which spun out of their 5G imitative plan. This was not originally meant to be a glimpse into an alternate future as a quick mini event, instead planned to be a complete reboot of the DC universe, much like it had already been done a few times under the stewardship of co-publisher Dan DiDio. So, yeah. The most shocking proposal, according to an industry insider present at the 5G Initiative Summit, was to turn the character Lucius Fox into Batman and have the ongoing Batman title feature the Black lead instead of Bruce Wayne. A contingent at DC Comics apparently thought race swapping the beloved character after the wake of Black Lives Matter would add additional diversity to the book lines. It's just a cash grab, basically. So the insider who spoke Bounding Into Comics under the condition of anonymity said DiDio looked visibly stressed at the meeting. Our source stated that DiDio had been excited about new initiatives in the past, but the 5G situation felt much different, like it was being forced on him.
Didio's a piece of shit. That's basically, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that how you say it?
Didio.
I thought it was Didio, but yeah, whatever. Who gives a shit?
I've always said Didio. I think I did it at a comic event going back a while ago. So if so, he didn't correct me. But yeah.
Didio's supposed fears were justified. He left or was fired from DC Comics in early 2020, right as the pandemic was hitting, and the comic industry suffered a catastrophic collapse from the closure of stores nationwide, and also just because they're producing shit. That's why it fell apart, but never mind. The proposal to replace Bruce Wayne as Batman with a black character was met with grumbles from the retail sector of the meeting. Allegedly, one of the retailers present told Didio point blank that he should be prepared for Batman sales to drop to a third of the book's then current levels. The reality of the situation is when readers read Batman as a title, they expect to see Bruce Wayne, and DC Comics followed up on the plan anyway with their Future State, the next Batman book. The Bruce Wayne replacement, Tim Fox, was met with poor reviews from both fans and critics, and the book did not last very long before DC Comics changed directions again, as always. So both Marvel and DC seem obsessed with trying to replace their iconic characters with new diverse skin suits. This is true. Marvel has done everything it can to promote Miles Morales as Spider-Man. This is true. Ever since Brian Michael Bendis created the character as a follow-up of a joke by Donald Glover stating he wanted to play Spider-Man in a movie. However, the Miles Morales iteration of the character still doesn't sell anywhere near the numbers Amazing Spider-Man does monthly. So whether the forced diversity comes from corporate management or from newer generations of writers who are obsessed with destroying iconic characters, every time it's tried, it fails spectacularly. There's a danger to retailers beyond simply losing sales on one book as well. When people go to a comic shop to buy a Batman book, they don't often keep coming back and returning to try out different books just because they stopped buying Batman. Comic readers are devoted to the characters they follow, and more often than not, they'll stop coming to the shops altogether if there's a reason to quit. So the attrition of readers has been plaguing the industry for a long time and is a herald of great problems ahead for the future state of comics. Thoughts, guys?
I'm not surprised at all by this in the least, but it's just more fuel to the fire to the death of comic books. I mean,
I have nothing to add to this that's new. This is confirmation of everything that we've reported, said, heard over the course of the last 6 years. So, I mean, the direction that all of this was being done willfully for no reasons that aided sales. So it is what it is.
Well, why did you say he was a piece of shit? Well, I don't know.
I'm not a fan. So he's done some decision making that's not great. The fact that what's interesting is I guess he got fired for doing an interview with John De La Rose, which is a related article. I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know. He wasn't very personable in my couple of engagements with him. So I took away a negative interpersonal reaction situation. From that. So that's just.
Well, I look at it this way: it's the false virtue signaling is getting old, right? It's almost become old hats to the point where even some of the woke folks have got to be going like, "Come on!" At this point, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, Velma, I think, was kind of proof of that to a point where we're getting to that point where some of this stuff is even too woke for woke folk. Because if you're just doing it for no other reason than just to say, "Oh, we've got a black Batman," or "We've got a black Spider-Man," or "We've got a Asian Wonder Woman," or "We've got a this or that," it's like, why? Create a new friggin' character.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. And then you got the other side of it too. Like, and I know this is Marvel, not DC. Hey, we got Clobby in the chat. He may have a thing or two to say about that. But hey, how you doing, Clobbering Times? And we even got adult dating chat. Somebody saved the link for me. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I haven't either. No, they popped back up.
It kind of took me by surprise there. But anyway, as I was saying, I mean, like, at this point, like, why? Why are you doing it? Just create a new character. You even got characters, like I was saying, over in Marvel, where you had Falcon, who has been his own established character for how many years?
Forever. I mean,
they decided all of a sudden we're going to make him Captain America instead.
That's so messed up.
Why?
No reason.
He was already a cool character all on his own.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
I loved it. Some of my favorite books. I still have that Power Records album, Captain America versus the Falcon. Oh no, Captain America and Falcon together fighting. It wasn't. Oh gosh, who was it? Vulture, I believe. Yeah. So, but I've got all. I mean, it's funny. I mean, original books are still valuable. And anybody who doesn't know that there was black characters in comics are just retarded. They just haven't been paying attention. Uninformed, whatever word you want to use. It is what it is. And again, perhaps Didio was having a bad day when I met him and I took away such a negative impression that I've never been able to think he was any good. Clobby says he was a hack, so I take Clobby's word for it. Yeah, the Phoenix. That's right. It was the Phoenix. Thank you, Clobby. It wasn't Vulture. See, Clobby.
That's what I said. He would have a thing or two because he's my comic go-to guy on Mead. So, but yeah, no. At this point, I think it's silly to change these heroes. I don't mind passing of the torch. I don't personally like it, but I see that the fans don't mind it so much. That's fine. But at the end of the day, why? They're just like cartoon characters. They don't need to age. They don't need to change. You can keep them as they are. Create a new character that is black or Asian or what have you, or a new woman character, whatever that you want. Why do this? Because we know why. And that's the problem, is they admit it in that the characters they're going to try to create aren't as popular. Well, that's on you, right? That's on you to make them popular, right?
Yeah.
I highly doubt Blade is as popular as he is because of the color of his skin. They don't take those things into consideration.
No, you're completely right. I think, the other thing about it is that your target demographic, like comic industry's dead anyway, has been dying for a significant amount of time. And then you go and put, another knife in its back by doing dumb stuff like this. The comic reader is a consumer, and a consumer, generally speaking, has money. They work for their money. They want to purchase stuff. The people that you're trying to appease to by doing this nonsense swap-a-rooney, they don't have money. They don't even read these comics. They're not interested. And every time they do this, the numbers go down. People don't want to buy it. People don't want to invest in it. And it's baffling to me. You'd think at one point you'd realize and go, shit, we've got to stop this. Like, why are we doing this? This isn't good. Especially with the numbers that these comic book companies put out, because they're terrible at the moment. They're atrocious. One Piece numbers have just skyrocketed massively because of the success of the Netflix adaptation. That's
You
a
want to know
Netflix
why that
adaptation.
is? I think mostly because without people knowing this on the surface level, I mean, we notice it, but I don't think the general audience has noticed it just because they know they're seeing something that's good and feels like they used to see, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. One Piece comes from an era and it hasn't been fucked with enough to where it feels like the stuff we used to get back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s because it comes from the 90s. And they didn't allow, Oda did not allow Netflix to do to it what they did to Cowboy Bebop. And didn't even some culture, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't even some people from behind that admit that they know they made some mistakes with Cowboy Bebop, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, yes, of course.
Maybe
yeah,
it was you, Mr. H. You said one of you guys had brought it up.
No,
before.
I know Mr. H, I think, did a video about it, but that's something they talked about. That's something they've expressed. So, and yet they went on to do a great job with One Piece, and there you are. So,
they've come out specifically.
You can learn from your mistakes for sure. So,
sorry. So
it does rarely happen in Hollywood sometimes.
Well, that was such a monumental failure of epic proportions.
Well, they still always learn the wrong lessons, right? That's what we generally talk about anyway.
Yeah, this is true. This is absolutely true. Well, there you have it.
Well, enjoy it if you buy it, I guess. You're going to be one of the 5 people that do. Countdown to when it's canceled or changed back to what it was. Because that's generally what it seems to happen with a lot of these comics. That's why I quit following comics anymore. They're so convoluted anyway. Beyond that, it's like, fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah.